You hit the button yet?
Nope, sure didn't.
Yay!
Hello, everybody, and welcome to this week's edition of the Posterman Podcast. If you couldn't tell, it's no longer a broadcast. There's another person here.
Tee.
Mama always knew there was something wrong with you.
I'm Mama's special boy.
You definitely are that. Tyler's back, everybody.
Yay!
He's going to help us finish out Sexy Stash Month, hopefully.
I came back for the most terrible sound music track.
Don't spoil it.
Music.
It's fine.
Something.
Spoil all you
thing
want.
stuffs.
Don't spoil it, Tyler.
Soundtrack? Yeah, that's the word I'm
Spoil
looking
it.
for.
Or cut to black. Cut to black right here. Tyler didn't know why they cut to black throughout the thing until I told him it was a TV movie.
I didn't know it was a TV movie. I'm like, what is with this transition?
It's
It's
just the weirdest
randomly
transitions. I'm like,
placed.
oh yeah, I forgot to tell you this is a TV movie, so it's a place
And
for
then I went-
commercials.
Oh.
You just thought it was a terrible edit.
I was like, who edited this? A 5-year-old? Like, was this done in high school? What happened?
Ken,
Oh.
plot synopsis, cast list for Shadow Riders, because we can't get enough westerns around here recently.
Hey man, if you want to get Tom Selleck and Sam Elliott's sexy stashes in the same movie,
It's probably going
this
to be
is
a
what
Western.
you got. And it's probably, well yeah, odds are pretty good that it'd be a Western. After the Civil War, two brothers demobilized from the army return home and must rescue certain relatives who've been kidnapped by a band of renegade Confederates.
Certain relatives.
Why couldn't they just say they're brothers and their sisters?
Why couldn't they just say relatives?
Well, relatives would have been like all the relatives, but like his
certain
brothers and
relatives.
sisters were taken.
It's just brother and sisters. To simplify the thing,
And
I even
ex-
would have just put sisters. Because the brother breaks free pretty early on
Yeah,
in the movie.
the brother sort of frees himself.
Yeah.
And, you know, the friend of family, former fiance, former girlfriend,
Kate.
Kate person, yeah. As mentioned, Tom Selleck plays Mac. Sam Elliott plays Dal. Dominique Dunn plays Sissy.
She has an interesting...
I don't know why she's
Story.
third banana. But
Because if you read her bio, it is such an interesting story as to what happened to her. It's not really. It's also horrific too, but it's
Oh.
interesting. She died at 22, the year this movie came out.
Oh, wow. Oh, so that's why she's third banana.
Yeah. So I'll get it up while you finish reading.
Ben Johnson is Uncle Black Jack Travern. Catherine Ross is Kate. Oh boy. Jeff Osterhage is Jesse. And well, I'm looking for the Major. There he is.
Tom to ground control.
Jeffrey Lewis plays Major Cooper Ashbury.
Asbury.
Oh, there it is. Gene Evans plays Colonel Holiday Hammond.
Well, do say everybody.
And that's pretty much it for significant cast.
Dominique Dunn.
Yes.
Back to the...
Think.
She was well liked in Hollywood. It was supposedly on the up to rising stardom.
Uh-huh.
At a party, she met John Thomas Sweeney. It was John. You were right. His middle name was Thomas. My bad. The chef at the popular LA night spot, M.A. Mason. The two began a relationship which turned stormy. Sweeney was uncontrollable and abusive. So abusive that Dominique did not need makeup to play the role of the abused victim on Hill Street Blues in 1981.
Oh, wow.
Dominique ended the relationship on October 30th, 1982. That same night, a distraught Sweeney raced to her house, where she and actor David Packer were rehearsing a scene from V, The Final Battle, which was coming out in 1984, dragged her outside and strangled her, leaving her brain dead. 5 days later, she was removed from life support and died, cutting short a brilliant career and leaving behind scores of shocked and angry loved ones.
That's awful.
It is awful. But I was like, because I was like, what else why is she third? And then I looked at the bio and I went, 22? What happened? And I clicked on it and went, whoa, what a story.
It's a terrible thing.
It is. Moment of silence.
I was distracted by
Your washer and dryer are not
Washing
going to allow that to happen.
yeah.
Oh.
Yay!
Well, cut that.
Basement noises.
Tyler, you get to cut this stuff.
I'm not doing anything.
Just slap.
I do what I want.
Just do what I did for the 2 podcasts I edited. 3.
Well, I mean, happens to the best of us. Moving on.
Moving on. Shadow Riders.
Yes.
It is a TV movie, everybody.
Yes, this is a TV movie from 1982. It's important to keep that in mind because there are some obvious low budgetness to this movie, but there's also it's not completely without it's all right. Like for a 1982 TV movie, it's pretty good.
If you cut out all the black pauses in the movie and just put them together, I would never have noted that this was not just a generic 80s Western movie. Never would I have been like, oh, this was a TV movie. The only way I knew it was a TV movie was the cuts. Oh, the frame?
4x3, yeah.
Oh, they fixed that on the Voodoo. Or Apple fixed it. I don't know.
I was going to say, I watched it on Voodoo and it was 4x3.
Apple fixed it. I watched it on Apple. That's what it is. I watched it on Apple on the PlayStation.
We had no framing issues.
No.
I didn't have any framing issues either. It was 4x3.
Just like you had no sound issues.
Right. Because Apple didn't futz with it.
His hearing's going. It's fine.
So as it turns out...
But you can watch this movie, everybody, on everywhere, but you have to purchase it. We couldn't find it free to stream anywhere without...
When I picked this movie, it was free on Crackle.
Yeah.
But when we actually went to watch it, it was no longer free on Crackle. The streaming movie universe hates me.
The streaming universe hates us.
This is what I have learned.
It hates
Anytime I pick something that I want to watch...
We should have done that one before this when we knew it was there.
It goes away.
Yeah, Elijah, it just would have went away.
It did. It probably went away on the beginning of January. I mean February.
Maybe. But yeah, so it was. I rented it for $3 from the Voodoo.
I purchased it because I hate renting.
That's fine. I don't want to pay extra money for something that I'm only going to watch the one time.
I
So
might
why
watch
not?
it again.
That's fine. I might.
I will not watch it again.
That's fine. I probably won't. Yeah,
I probably won't either. I have it now, so I have the option.
Okay, so Tom Selleck plays Mac, the younger brother. We meet him first.
He fights for the North.
He's the Yankee, and the ladies' man. Although we meet him.
That happens. The ladies' man part happens twice, and that's it.
Yes.
In the beginning, also, and then
That's
it's just
true.
I'm Tom Selleck.
But after that, there aren't any extra ladies around.
Yep. Besides Kate.
And she's spoken for twice.
Yeah. Kate's free woman. She can do what she wants.
And Sam Elliott plays Dal, and he fought for the South, so he's the Confederate.
He did fight for the South.
And
I did like how that never really came up throughout the movie, that why they each fought for that different side.
yeah, that's something.
And they each just were like, "It's fine. We don't want to bring up old hash. We're just done. Glad the fighting's over. We love each other, but we each have to fight for what we believe in."
There's a cool quote that I copied down that we'll get to later.
Cool.
I liked it.
As good as Kate saying that there's no one with that voice quite like you, and I sat there and I went, "Yep, that is Sam Elliott, and there is no one quite like the voice like Sam Elliott."
Well, that was the mom. The mom said that too.
The mom said that?
The mom said that.
The mom said that.
I thought it was Kate.
Nope, it happened very beginning of the movie.
I don't think so.
Because everybody thought he was dead, and he shows up with this this bushy beard, so nobody recognized. And that's the weird thing, is these guys come home from the war, after being gone for years. There's a series of misadventures. They do meet up on the road. We don't really need to get into that.
No.
They arrive home, and nobody recognizes them. which is really
War changes
odd
you,
to me,
Ken.
I think, but
War changes you can.
maybe it does.
And I like how we never find out who Jesse fought for either. That didn't come up either. Yeah.
Right.
Doesn't matter.
It didn't. It was interesting. I just thought that was neat. I was pointing out neat things, Tyler. God.
But they arrive home to find the family ranch has been ransacked and everybody's run off, and the families, their sisters have been taken, the cattle's been taken, their little brother's missing,
And shot.
He got shot in the war.
Yeah.
They found out that he was off fighting and got injured and
Came home early.
and they got sent home.
That's going to affect him later in life. He'll be trying to do work, and he'll just be like, the old war wound's acting up again. And he won't be able to plow the fields.
Why does he sound like that?
That's his old age talking.
That's the old age guy.
Yeah.
But they learned that a bunch of former Confederates, because this is like the opening scene of this movie is Tom Selleck being told the war is done.
Yeah.
The South surrendered. War's over.
It's him getting a massage. By the
If
lady.
you know what we mean.
Yeah.
By a Southern
The old
belle.
rub and tug.
If you know what
the
we
old
mean.
rub and tugs. He went to.
He's in there getting the old rub and
masseuse that's
tug.
down the street, and they got He paid the old $150, and he got the old rub and tug. Or the 20 cents for the bath, which he apparently was going to get also for that similar price. At the other place with the other woman.
Yes.
Yes.
But yeah, so they learned that a bunch of renegade former Confederate soldiers came through, took the people and the cattle and the horses and anything that they could take, and food, anything that they could take, they took, and off they went. And so
They're like the Grinch.
So, Mac and Dal then decide
Stole Christmas.
to
You did.
go on a mount a rescue mission. But they're like, well, where was the sheriff during all of this? So they went to Dal goes to town to inquire after what was going on. Why wasn't
This was the part of the movie where I missed the dialogue because the music was so loud.
the dialogue is not super duper especially important. The only thing we learn is that their uncle, the reason why the sheriff wasn't in town was because he was off chasing down their uncle, who is in who's in prison
later.
because that comes up
That's
later.
how they knew the uncle was in prison.
Yes,
I didn't know how they knew that.
That's
I was like,
how they knew.
He's been in prison for a while.
that's how they knew.
Oh, there we go. That answered that question.
And the sheriff is a good guy, and he loans the brothers a couple of rifles, which don't really come up until the very end.
Good old rifles. That's common currency in this movie is rifles. Because that's what the commander guy wants from Colonel Sanders, and just trained rifles for women. And the only person that was paid money for was Kate.
The major wanted to outfit a war. He was like, "We're gonna go take the South back."
The South is mine.
But
Now he's stuck in Mexico. I wonder if he ever did it.
he probably made it back to Texas. But to jump forward a bit,
Did he save his army? Did he start his army?
as the brothers rode in to rescue the
You read history, right?
girls. And to rescue the people that were going to be sold into slavery, they shoot everybody.
Everybody's dead.
All the soldiers that were all the Confederates that were left behind to guard the
They all went to
or
Stormtrooper Academy.
not to guard but at the coastal camp, they all died. They all got shot.
But what if they had similar stories?
Doesn't matter, they're dead.
Oh,
They probably did have similar
I'm
stories.
so sad.
You'll get over it.
I used that stormtrooper line when my dad was watching. I went to my parents' house and they were watching Sherlock Holmes' Game of Shadows, and they're literally running through the woods and there's a guy right in front of Sherlock and shoots a gun and it misses him. I said he went to the Stormtrooper Academy. And my dad fell over laughing. That's my random Stormtrooper story.
Good story, bro.
Cool story, bro.
Fucking stab you.
And then you found $5.
Fucking stab you, Tyler.
Here's moving again, Ken.
So we jump from there to the slaves, the captives. Let's call them the captives.
They're the captives. I didn't think they were.
They were going to be slaves.
Yeah, they were traded in there.
They were going to be sold into
Slaves
slavery.
to
In a variety of forms.
Yes, a variety of flavors of slavery.
Oh, the flavors of slavery.
The many flavors of slavery. It's like the Baskin Robbins of slavery here in this movie.
But Kate is the ringleader of the women, and there's a few men the only man we really get familiar with is Jesse, and she walks over to him and hands him a pocket knife that she'd had
stowed in her boot.
squirreled away. Yeah, stowed in her boot.
Because nobody checks the boot.
Apparently, yeah, nobody frisked the women.
No, they're not for carrying knives, they're for walking.
They're not for carrying knives?
No, they're for
boots,
walking.
Those boots are made for walking.
That's just what they do.
And then those boots walked all over him. Happened.
So Jesse takes the knife and cuts his bra bonds and runs off and
saves the day.
And is
He gets shot in the ocean.
shot in the ocean. He swims out. They're on the coast. They're on the Gulf Coast in Texas. It's kind of like it. The only time we really, I shouldn't say we really know, but the geography in this movie is kind of hazy.
Tyler's statement is they shot in the same field, everything.
Yeah, like every
That
time.
is possible.
Every time you they cut back to the fields, like
They shot in a.
I
they
swear
shot
to
in
God, it was the same field every time.
They shot somewhere.
And they said they crossed the Rio Grande when they crossed a creek. So.
Well, we didn't see them. We saw them cross a tributary. We didn't actually see them cross the river.
Tributary?
Yes. Tributary. Look it up.
Good Lord, Elijah.
There's one thing Elijah's bad at. It was always geography.
Well, this isn't geography. This is
Well, it's part of geography, isn't it? Tributaries and all that other stuff. Tributaries, mountains, all that shit.
That's.
I think it'd be closer to like.
It doesn't matter.
Nope, it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. But Jesse gets shot. We assume he's dead, but not for very long because he rematerializes before too long. He washes up on shore, and then miraculously, he is found by his brothers. Shortly after he washes up on shore,
And he's set upon by thieves.
oh, that's right. He gets set upon by a couple of ne'er-do-wells.
That I'm pretty sure were the same two thieves that were trying
They
to
were just
steal
dressed
a
up.
horse earlier in the movie.
They were dressed up, yeah. I thought they were the same two people,
You
too.
just dress differently.
They
maybe.
just put like a hat on one and they were like, here you go.
Hey, go out there and get that guy.
Okay, guys. For this next scene, we need you to swap costumes. Go.
Shh. Ignore.
Nobody will ever notice.
There will never be a pause button.
But in this, when the brothers find Jesse, Jesse's like, did you talk to our parents? Yeah. They told you they told him he was back. He said something to the tune of, did they get around to telling you what side I fought for? And Mac chimes in with, blue, gray, doesn't matter. A man fights for what he believes in. Just be glad it's over. And Dal adds, amen to that. And that's kind of that's where we leave it as far as the politics.
We could have left credits and then this movie would be done. That's it.
The politics of the Civil War and how the brothers fought on opposite sides of it, they came home just happy to be together and that it was over.
If they were to the coast, they had to have driven a hard way to get to one tributary for the Rio Grande.
Yeah, because that's a super accurate... Never mind.
I'm looking at the many the 5 tributaries they said that were the main ones.
Well, it wouldn't have been a main one. It would have been a less main one.
I'm on rivers.
Lord. Let me know when you find Joan. Boo.
I heard you. I'm ignoring you, and I was looking to see if there was one called Joan. Just to laugh, just to be like, look, and I'll be like, here you go. Sorry, everybody, you will also hear
The mascot is speaking.
Hello, mascot.
Excuse me, while I go yell at him.
He got sick
Keep
even
going.
day.
So we finally meet the colonel, the colonel, who is.
Can you hear him stomping?
Yeah.
That's great.
I mean, I don't know if I
It's
can.
all
I don't know if I can hear it in the microphone.
I can't wait to edit this later. Listen to the stompy stomps. All right, continue. Sorry, Ken.
So we meet the colonel, the slaver, the gunrunner, the guy
The Sanders.
Yes, the Colonel Sanders.
He had to get one more out.
That just he's this slimy double talker from the beginning, and we know it.
So,
Sorry, buddy. The dog vomited earlier, and so that's why you're hearing the washing machine and the dog.
But the Major seems to think that he is gonna get his guns for the slaves that he's brought in, the slaves and the food and the cattle that he's brought in.
he seems to think that, and like the whole time, as soon as like Colonel Sanders shows up, and he's just kind of like
Oh, my liver
Play
herbs
it.
and spices.
playing real slow to get him anything. I was like, this man ain't gonna give him shit.
I was impressed that he went on the boat ride with them. I was like, no.
It's a bad decision, Pa.
Well, the issue is if he doesn't go along, there's absolutely he knows that if he lets them out of his sight with all his stuff,
Why wouldn't
they're
they give
never
him the
coming
stuff?
back.
I wouldn't have given him the stuff.
well, he didn't have another option. This was the only. Well, I don't know that he might have had another
Could
option,
have found another option.
but he didn't know of
He didn't
another
think
option.
of another option.
He didn't have another option immediately.
Why you gotta
available.
have plan A through Z?
He's a terrible, terrible commander if he wanted to start a war.
Yep.
What is he doing? Colonel Sanders could have started a war before him.
He did. He started the war with chicken.
Popeyes has nothing on me.
Oh, God.
It's got the war with chicken.
We keep interrupting poor Cat.
It's fine.
He's just trying to get through a podcast.
This is fine. I don't care.
I'm just trying to get through a podcast, and you guys
There's a
interrupting.
dog barking. There's a washing machine
This is
going.
what
There's
we're
someone
doing.
stomping feet up on the ceiling.
I found it interesting that everybody wanted to do Kate.
Yeah.
Like, Dal wanted to do Kate. She had a new fiance. They wanted to do her. The Major wanted to do her. The Colonel wanted to do her. Everybody wanted to do Kate.
Tom Selleck.
I felt Kate was attractive, and I gotta appreciate a strong, independent woman.
That's my note here.
Don't
Kate is
need no man.
Kate is being left behind because everybody loves a smart, capable woman in this movie. It seems.
What was it? Yeah, to jump to the end with Kate and all that, I was like, and don't mention the fact that you wanted to take his fiance, the old general. That you were like, oh, come with me, Kate. When he lets the general guy go. You don't know what I'm talking about.
No,
The
you kind of
Major?
really started like in the middle of whatever you're talking
Yeah,
about.
the major dude. When he lets the major dude go.
When Dal lets the Major go.
Yeah. I was like, oh, you don't know that he wanted to take Kate for his own.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I was like, if I was, I keep wanting to say Tom Selleck when it's Sam Elliott. If I was Sam Elliott, I would have shot him.
I expected that, actually.
Because Kate should have brought that up in their like 10 billion mile hikes around the same field. So, guys, are we going the right way? I don't know.
Maybe we should pull over and ask for directions.
Nope, we would ask for directions here in the West. Let's eat more jerky. We head west.
So everybody, or not everybody, except for Kate, all the
three dudes,
the major, the colonel, and the rest of the captives are loaded up in a boat, and they go to Mexico.
Yes.
I should say a ship, and they go to Mexico. So
they're on the way to Chihuahua.
The brothers.
Yeah, we had to look that up.
And Kate decide to follow, but they don't know anything about Mexico. They're like, well, if we're going to Mexico, we're going to need some help. So they go break their uncle out of jail, long story short.
Who doesn't really tell them why he's in jail in the first place.
Never really does.
That's fine. He's a career criminal, thief, rogue, rapscallion, but he's lovable. Scoundrel. He's lovable.
That nobody trusts. But
a little scamp.
We looked up Chihuahua, Mexico to see if it was real.
It is.
It is?
Yeah, I
the
did
dogs
not.
are named after it.
We didn't know that.
We didn't know that. But I was like, wait a minute. They just... It's the 80s, so, like, you know...
They could have made something.
I don't know how many times stuff has been
We're
made
going
up.
to Ghostbuster, North Dakota.
You know, like, so I was like, I guess I'll look it up. And it was real. So they have a cave. I get the name of the cave.
For the tourist.
Yeah, because I was, as we were there, I was looking, as I was on the the Googs here, I was looking at the stuff to see if there's anything cool.
What else was there?
I'm getting there.
But yeah, the uncle does some things that you don't exactly know what he's doing until later on when he's like, oh, I went to this place and stole this. Oh, I went here and did this. Like, he's very shady with some of the things that he does. Also, his dialogue was more muffled than everyone else's in my mind. But
he talked like he had a mouthful of mush an
Yeah.
awful lot, yes.
So I was like, I don't know what he's talking about. So
I'll probably get this wrong, but Grutas Nombre de Droit. I don't know, did I say that right?
What am I looking at?
the cave.
Yeah, Grutas Nombre de Dios.
Dios, okay.
Did good. Good
I
try.
tried real hard.
Did good. So everyone go to Chihuahua, Mexico.
I want to go in the
there.
cave. Time-tested cave with guided tours.
Oh.
It's got a 4.7 rating
Yeah, I went to
out of 5.
a cave like that in Texas. They have a cave like that.
Top sites.
But yeah, the uncle is a shady character in my mind
Yes.
that I expected to turncoat.
No, I was not worried about him turncoating. He may have been led astray by a prophet, but I wasn't expecting him to that's the like.
I knew he'd probably save the daughters, but I didn't know if he'd be like, goodbye.
The abiding theme is
Family.
family sticks together and family looks out for itself and looks out for each other and
Family don't shoot anybody. Family don't let people hang on a tree. Family.
right, like from the beginning when you have the lynch mob who's wanting to kill Dal because he's a Reb.
Mm-hmm.
You see him, he's a Reb. No, he's my brother.
Yeah.
This is that sets sort of the tone for the brothers' relationship and family dynamic. Excuse me, in this movie.
No, excused.
So yet again, long story short, they launch a three-pronged attack on the slaver camp. Kate goes in dressed as Sister Catherine. Jack leads Mac in because Dal knew the major. They fought together in the war.
So they couldn't do either of those two.
And Jesse had been a captive, so
Yep.
Dal and Jesse stay on the outside with the sniper rifles. and Mac and Jack go in
Cheese.
to Mac and Jack Cheese go into the camp, and they cause the distraction. Kate gets discovered as in her disguise.
In that obvious disguise?
Yes,
no.
in that
How
obvious
could,
disguise.
How could it not? And her sister also screamed Kate really loud.
And before that, we were joking. We were sitting there, and I was joking, and I was like, "Hi, Kate. No, Elizabeth. Why would you say that?
Oh, Elizabeth, now we're all gonna get
everything."
God!
I don't know. Maybe 5 minutes later, Kate.
Yeah.
No, God damn it.
She screams her name. I'm like, there's a guard right over there.
I'm pretty sure half of these guards were deaf
Well,
or
the
blind.
The
Oh,
guards
man, couldn't shoot.
There could have been another girl in the group named Kate.
They had an army of Helen Kellers.
Well, they all were dumb enough to jump into the to continue on. They all were dumb enough to go into the tavern.
Look, you tell me.
And then Jet lights a dynamite stick and chucks it into the.
He said
into
he
the
was going to
tavern.
buy him a drink. If someone said, "Tyler, I'm going to buy you a drink," I'll be like, "I'm
Yeah,
lining up
but
at
you
the
can,
bar."
But you can still see half of them in the doorway when he takes the dynamite, lights it, and throws it behind him.
Well, yeah.
And then he shuts the door and locks the door.
Yeah, but then they obviously would have looked down and be like, "Hey, there's dynamite. Step on the fuse."
I don't think it works that way.
I don't know.
You could
I watched
put the fuse out.
I watched U57 F1, U571 here recently, and a guy just pulls the thing out of the thing of dynamite to stop it when they're trying to blow up the sub.
The fuse. They pulled the fuse out.
Yeah. So why couldn't they have done the same thing?
Because the fuse was integrated. It wasn't removable in this instance.
Okay.
Sometimes the fuse is stuck in this goo stuff. It makes the dynamite go boom.
I like the word goo stuff that you've used.
The
as a technical
dynamite?
term.
Yeah.
The fuse is integrated in the dynamite.
Yeah.
Early dynamite
trying to help Elijah.
Early
I
dynamite
get
was.
that, but still, there was also
was-
like it looked like no one's like forcing on the door either. Then just all of a sudden just blows up.
Yeah, it's suspend disbelief. It's
Well,
an
yeah,
80s,
you go
It's
with
an
it.
80s TV movie. Who cares?
I know, it just was funny. I just like had the one stick of dynamite, and there we go.
It was right around this time when I learned that this was a TV movie also. I was like,
Yeah, that is what it is.
why? Why is this black fade still here?
Because I think it explodes and then I think it cuts to black again.
Yeah, it was...
Kate's taken on the train with the two sisters.
Oh no.
Yes.
Yep.
And
By Colonel Sanders.
By the Colonel. Yep.
He's gonna take her on board there and show her his nice new flavor of chicken.
The legs.
If you know what we mean.
I need to see the legs, the thighs, and the breasts.
He's gonna give her the beak.
Give it the peek. Bark, bark. But so Tom Selleck is right at the train. He can catch the train on foot.
Easily could have got on
Easily
this train.
could've. There's a guy on the other side. He runs towards the guy, pushes the horse and him over, and then starts beating the guy up.
And
then
takes
takes the horse, and then just chases after the train. And it's not that far from the train. Now, my second favorite part is we gotta go to the more fighting at the camp.
Yes.
With Sam Elliott, who doesn't shoot the other general.
The major.
The major has that conversation, and then he rides off in front of the train, and somehow they're neck and neck near the train.
Yeah, train's got some giddy up head start speed time. So does the Selleck.
So does Selleck.
And then
But I think
Sam Elliott's
some
horse
of this
apparently was made of
Selleck
lightning.
Selleck is on the outside and Sam Elliott is on the inside.
Yeah, but Sam
The
Elliott
outside
should
and the
never have
inside
caught that
track.
train as fast at about the same time as Tom Selleck.
His horse was faster.
His horse had to have been Lightning McQueen.
And he and when Mac gets knocked off his horse by the dynamite, he's then able to like scramble over and grab a hold of the train.
That was the greatest thing. I'm like, no. So
which didn't make sense to me.
Didn't
but
he get blown up?
yeah, they got blown up. Like, they threw dynamite out the window. It
Right.
blows up. I look at Elijah, dead. Tom Selleck is dead. Horse is gone to the great glue factory and dog food factory in the sky.
Yes.
And then he rolls over, grabs the train. I'm like, nope, you're dead, Tom Selleck. You can't grab the train that's moving at 1 mile an hour.
It decided it wanted to slow down for Tom Selleck, who stands up and like runs at the train. That's how I wanted it to be.
Oh my god.
That was really the. And then the shooting without like a shot coming out of it. Remember when you were like,
Oh.
did they shoot?
So they're there, and you've got Tom Selleck and the other, not Tom Selleck.
Sam Elliott.
Yeah,
Sam
Sam
Elliott and
Elliott
Jesse.
and Jesse's sitting there. They're shooting at the guys on the water tower, and Sam Elliott goes, I got the guy on the left." Sam Elliott shoots. You're pretty sure he shoots, and then it cuts back to them. Another shot happens, and the other guy falls off the water tower. And I looked at Elijah. I'm like, "Did Jesse shoot his gun?"
Because it certainly didn't look like it.
Doesn't look like he shot his gun. So.
I was
It
not
was-
paying that close attention.
It was near. It was like at this point when I was like, this is most definitely a TV movie.
Yeah, it's in moments like that where this absolutely feels like a TV movie. Yes.
So now we're on top of the train,
We have-
and we're playing. It's a serious chase moment, and we're playing happy, funny banjo music. So like,
It's the greatest thing.
I'm like, why? So I don't know why the music was so goofy, but
It was bouncy adventure music.
no.
I'm
And
just saying.
we
it
climb
was-
up the ladders,
bouncy
and we're
adventure
like,
music.
"Oh shoot, there's a guy there!" And then we climb up, we're like, "Oh, it's just you, you, you."
I almost shot you.
Oh, you. And then we carry on. We now are holding Tom Selleck over the edge. He's in the window. We're acting surprised,
Oh, right,
and no one
'cause
notices that we're surprised.
They're scouting they're
Yes.
taking a view. They're looking in the car where the colonel and the girls and some guards are.
He's hiding his secret for his 11 herbs and spices.
So now we distract Colonel guards. We jump in train, beat up Colonel guards, and we stop train.
And we stop the train.
Yes.
Family is saved. Everyone's happy.
Yay!
Yay! Except for Jet. He gets captured by Gillette.
What, Jet and Gillette?
Jack.
Who are Jet
Jack?
and Gillette?
Yeah.
Gillette's the
The razor.
razor.
The razor sheriff.
The Razor Sheriff.
Yeah, it was Sheriff Gillette.
Yeah, it's Sheriff Gillette.
He's the razor sheriff.
Oh, I was just.
Yeah,
Oh yeah,
Razor
Gillette.
Sheriff.
You're right.
Yeah, he's the razor sheriff.
I just thought I never caught it.
I couldn't catch who the uncle's name was. I always called him Jet.
Jack.
I couldn't.
The uncle
understand
was
it.
Jack.
None of them made it sound like
Mac
that.
and Jack Cheese.
Thank you, Mac and Jack cheese.
So the moral of the story is, we had different quality experiences. But ultimately, they trade the colonel. The posse has rolled in. We didn't talk about the posse at all.
Well, because the posse's useless.
Because the posse's kind of useless until the very end. The posse is chasing Jack, led by Captain Razor.
Captain Razor.
Sheriff Razor, excuse me.
Sheriff Gillette razor.
Sheriff Gillette Razors.
That's how I remembered his name. Was Sheriff Gillette Razors.
But
Because that's how they did sponsorship in that during that movie. They just held up a thing as Gillette's during the commercial.
Yeah.
but they finally roll in as the boys are off.
Saving the day.
Saving the day. They've ridden off with the train, leaving Jack and Jesse behind. I forget what. I guess Jesse doesn't really do any. Jesse stays.
Jesse's freeing the girls.
Stayed in his. Oh yeah, that's right. He was freeing slaves.
Yeah.
Or captives, excuse me. And
He's freeing the flavors.
He was finding one wife.
and Jack is hiding because he doesn't want to get found by the posse. But the posse finds him, they arrest him. And just as that's happening, the train comes back. They back the train back into the state, back into the where it was, and they trade the colonel for Jack. They say, "Here, you can have the colonel," and Texas's most wanted man, been on the run for 30 years or whatever.
Big fish.
And we find out why Jack was in jail.
Because he was going after the...
He was womanizing.
He was going after the sheriff, Mrs. Gillette. He was going after Mrs. Razors.
He was stripping the Gillette family.
It's like the Rockwells. You don't mess with the oil business.
You don't mess with the razor business.
Rockefellers. I don't know why I called them Rockwells.
Norman Rockwell was real mad at you.
Anyways.
But there you have it.
That was the movie.
That's pretty much it.
Then it ends with them all heading back.
Yeah, and they all go home.
Everyone's happy. And I had a moment where I thought we were going to do that stupid look at the camera thing. because And then the credits roll, well, it's freeze framed.
Tom Selleck.
Because it, at one point,
they're all
Sam Elliott just turns to the camera with a big smile, and I'm like, no, we're not gonna do this.
And then
it cuts, and then it goes to Tom Selleck, and he does it. I'm like, no, we're not gonna do this.
Kate does it, and then it cuts back to each of them doing it again, and then it's like, okay, bye.
And now we're walking away, and credits rolling, and I felt better about everything.
I didn't notice that, but that's okay.
Yeah, I was anticipating something stupid and
We
silly.
just watched a different movie. Mine had a jet. Ken's had a Jack.
Yeah. So I don't really remember how our format goes.
This one?
You guys
The new
changed
format.
it. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I know I got to talk about things I liked and didn't
It still
like.
took us 40 minutes to do the plot summary. We need to cut that down.
Okay.
But that's okay. It's fine.
We're bad at our jobs.
We're working on it.
This is a work in progress. We did better because it usually takes us an hour and a half.
I know. We're doing better. And there has been lots of rabbit trails and banter on this.
Yeah,
so it's
there was
fine.
banter, rabbit trails. I'd get up and do my dog, and then there's laundry, and then.
So what do we do now?
What you like?
Favorite scene?
Yeah.
What'd you like?
My favorite scene. I don't really have a favorite scene. What can I think of here? I want to say my favorite scene is you. I have to. It has to be that. It has to be the. Because it was just ridiculous. It was ridiculous. That or the when I called Colonel Sanders, and he opened up a pot of chicken.
That's good. I enjoyed the beginning with the hanging part. I like that. That's my favorite scene of the movie.
It's hang a man.
I think I don't know if it's my favorite scene necessarily, but I liked the blue, gray, doesn't matter. A man fights for what he believes in, just be glad it's over.
Yeah.
Because I feel like that's a really good tone piece and sort of a central...
That's the high part of this movie, is my thought. Is the theme of the movie is a good one. That's my favorite thing about the movie was the theme. I'm like, this movie is a good theme about family, about how blood is thicker than this, and we each fought for what we believe in, but we're still family. It was that I thought was a neat aspect of this movie. Whereas the thing I didn't like was the music.
Yeah, so both me and Elijah very much did not enjoy the soundtrack to this movie. When I think of a Western, and I think of Western sounding music, I don't think of hillbilly rumpity bumpity in the hills music. Which is kind of what
Hillbilly.
kind of what this was all was but again, it's the 80s, so I guess people in the 80s Western music had to be silly, had to be all banjo-y and goofy. It just didn't fit, and it was too there was too much of it in certain places. When you watch a lot of the good westerns, the music is meant as an accent or something like that. You're supposed to use your music for. This was just here and listen to silly music. Here we go.
A good western has underlay, and it's mostly just tone and there's theme, and then there's like
See,
when they're riding off in places.
I didn't
fine.
notice the music in
But
this
then
movie at all.
But then when they were talking, they would play loud music, and I was like, why are we still playing the music over their
I
dialogue?
think it has to do with the version that you guys watched.
I don't know.
Because I did not notice this at all. I didn't have any trouble ever understanding. Well, I mean, I had trouble understanding Jack sometimes, but that's because he talked like he had a mouthful of mush.
Yes, that was Jack.
That's an issue. That's a performance problem, not a sound issue problem. I never had trouble understanding dialogue. I knew what was going on in the town sequence where you said you couldn't understand anybody over the loud music. I never had
To be
that
fair,
trouble.
that also might have been at the point when my dog might have been throwing up. So I also
There's a good point. A good possibility his dog was. All over the
so I
floor.
was also running around trying to deal with that too. So I might have just missed stuff. To be honest with our listeners,
Okay, then
that during that part, but yeah, like during that part, I believe that might have been when, but I feel like that was too early for my dog to have been getting sick. But yeah, those are my two things that I liked and didn't like pretty much about the whole movie as general.
Yeah. I thought this was a solid movie. It wasn't great. Like I can't necessarily point out to anything that I disliked aside from the fact that everybody wanted to do Kate. That felt like a really convenient sort of lazy contrivance to me.
That's so that you don't have to use the other actors, who one of them looks like was like 12.
Well, yeah, she was supposed to be
Yeah.
she was the little sister. But
That other sister has nothing on her career, because I went looking for her too, and she has nothing on her career.
This movie killed her acting career.
No, she did like 2 other things after this, but she just didn't do much. And then it doesn't even like show her birthday, because I was like, okay, I'm going to see how old she was when she did this movie. Because you kept saying, man, she looks like 10.
No, 16. I
I'm
pegged her
sorry.
at 16.
I think Sissy was probably supposed to be a teenager, and then
Yeah, it's Sissy about like 16.
the younger sister, Heather, maybe.
Yeah, I just looked for the
Yeah,
last
Heather.
name. Yeah.
She was supposed to be 12, 14 probably.
Mhm.
So like old enough to know what was going on, but still young enough to be mortified by all of it and
Mortified to be the idea
and
that
to
might
be
go
yeah
on.
and small and young enough to not really be able to take care of herself, or I should say young enough that Sissy was there taking care of her. Sissy's taking care of Heather, and Kate's taking care of both of them. That was Jesse's report on the situation at some point.
But yeah, I can get behind your Kate theory too.
Yeah,
Now
like
I stop to process it.
That's the thing that jumped out at me most as like I said, kind of lazy or incongruous or both.
I guess it was so that you didn't have another actress in the movie or something that was.
Well, and it was like it was convenient. It was convenient that everybody likes Kate, so nobody's saying, "Here, guys, rape her brains out and kill her," which is what realistically would have happened at some point.
Let's bone tomahawk this woman.
Yes, something
God.
along those lines. So like there's some like the plotting of this movie is very deliberate. Like it never lags, but it never sprints either.
No.
So like it's got one speed.
Its pacing is actually very, very good, I think. Because there's the one when
with the different experience, I might go with you because I was enjoying the story up until the music just was killing us. It was killing us. It got just like obnoxious where it was just like every time they were doing something, it'd be like, and I'm like, can we just not?
Yeah, it just kept playing.
Then that killed the story for us because we just like, can we get to some quiet? I don't want to hear you banjo and blow the harmonica again for another 10 minutes. Let's just give me 10 minutes.
Yeah, I did not have that experience at all.
That's what killed the story for us, and that's what made it feel long. Was that like in the beginning I was like, man, I'm hooked on the story. It's an interesting story, and then it just was like, because it stayed about the same pace. There was really no like big highs or big lows.
Yeah.
It just then started to like the lows just started the music just started to become the problem with it and just dragged us down.
The only time it dragged a little bit was after the beach, before the train.
Yes.
When we're
getting Jack and all that.
It just bops around and it's like, okay, we are definitely paying attention. Like we're doing all of the relationship beats here, and because we do all the relationship beats here, it feels a little bit too much and it makes it drag a little bit and it feels a little bit slow. That's the only spot where this 80s TV Western feels draggy. So, like I said, I think this is a very solid, Western. If you like I said, you have to keep in mind 80s TV.
Yeah.
But that has to do with production value as much as anything else. The source material
that was good.
The source material is solid. It's based on a Louis L'Amour novel. So,
but yeah, do we want to robot punch this?
Sure, let's robot punch it.
Sure. Tyler, do you want to go?
I think I'm gonna give it a 2.5. I was really done, like I said, with the sound. The soundtrack for me really and now I kind of want to go back and watch it with whatever version you had, Ken,
Voodoo.
on Voodoo, and see if it's the same.
We should have watched it on Voodoo.
But it's just really to me, an action sequence or anything shouldn't have silly chase music, and that's what that felt like.
It just shouldn't be as loud as it was. That I think was the problem.
So I'm gonna give it a 2.5. It really the soundtrack really killed it for me.
Okay. I'll go next. I'm gonna give it like a 3 1/4. It's pretty good. It's I liked it. It wasn't a waste of time. I liked the family themes. Performances were bog standard. Nobody stood out as being really good performances, but none of the performances were terrible either. So it doesn't gain any points there, doesn't lose any points there. It's fine. If you're a fan of Tom Selleck or Sam Elliott,
Sam Elliott is great.
This is worth a watch. Sam Elliott doesn't have as big a part. This is definitely more of a.
That was Sam Elliott more than Tom Selleck.
I
thought Tom Selleck was more they just kept cutting to Tom Selleck. They had nothing to say and really do, so they just Tom Selleck, and then they would be okay. Then we cut back to
maybe
Sam Elliott talking to other people.
I guess Tom Selleck had got more screen time.
Yeah,
but Sam Elliott had more things to do as a character. Now I could conceive because he was the big brother. He was the older brother, so he was kind of the ringleader.
And he had Kate with him too. Kate was his
Yeah, and
Kate
was his former flame, or flame, as we learned at the.
What's the joke?
I got a question to ask you.
Mm-hmm.
What's your question?
He was gonna ask her to marry you.
Oh,
that's in the sequel, Tyler. God.
But yeah, so 3 1/4. Elijah.
I gave it a 1.5.
Oh.
the when it started, I said, this music is getting really loud, and I don't know why. So I just thought, yet again, it could just be the way it was set up, artistic choice, whatever. It could just be because I didn't feel it was my cup of tea there, but that just dragged that down. Sam Elliott saves the movie because he's Sam Elliott, and I just love hearing Sam Elliott talk. The hero gets 3 stars because it's Sam Elliott just doing dialogue, and that's grade A movie. But this movie just suffered from, I think, I think if we had cut out the black, even like, because because we have the technology now, we could just cut out the black spaces, put it all together, and then I think it would feel better than it did. But I understand it is a TV movie and that's why it's there. But the way I watch movies now, that's just how I kind of wanted it. But it was fine. It just, I feel like with these two actors, they just didn't get enough to strut their chops, is the way I want to put it. Like, there's just like strut their acting talents, that because they both are very talented people and they just weren't given a ton to deal with. There was something there. Like, I like the themes, I like the story. I just think that, I don't know. I just seemed to be missing something to me. But I also was thinking my dog was very sick, so
You were.
I was also distracted, so give or take what was happening. But yeah, that is Shadow Riders, and that is the second one more movie in the. Sorry, everybody.
That's what you sounded like.
That is the.
Not at all what you sounded like.
Oh God! The next movie we have for Sexy Stash Month is Mission Impossible Fallout. So if y'all want to watch that, go.
I'm looking at the cover, and Tom Cruise does not have a mustache.
Yeah,
No,
Henry Cavill has a mustache.
Henry Cavill has a mustache.
I've not also seen this movie, so I don't know what part he plays in this movie.
He's the bad guy.
Yeah, he is the main antagonist henchman guy.
The
Yes.
action is off the charts spectacular, says Rolling Stone.
But this movie is the legendary stash, which we could get into next time.
Controversial stash.
Controversial stash.
Controversial.
It is.
stuff.
Ken said it was streaming
on Hulu.
Yeah.
I thought that was it. I wanted to double check.
I also own
It
it
is
on
streaming
Blu-ray.
on Hulu.
Oh, okay, so I can see it on the Hulus.
I was going to give you that.
Yes, if you have the Hulus, you can watch it on the Hulus.
You have my Hulus.
I have a Hulus.
Cool. Hulus.
Hulus?
The Hulu.
They lose.
Read the stupid thing.
Me.
It's that time of night. It's that time of night.
I have a question real quick. How did this work while I wasn't here?
do it.
That time
Oh.
It's that time of night. It's that time of
It's
night.
that time of night to go to
It's that time of night.
www.thepostmanpodcast.com. You can email us, thepostermanpodcast@gmail.com. Find us on Twitter at thepostermanpod, Instagram, The Posterman Podcast, Facebook, The Posterman Podcast, Letterboxd, The Posterman Pod, and on YouTube, The Posterman.
It's that time of night. It was that time of night. It was that time of night.
Thanks, everybody.
Yep, we'll see you all next week.